20 years. That's how long Daniel had lived with a quiet ache in his heart, a space that no amount of work, success, or friendships could ever fill. He had a daughter once. Her name was Lily. But life, it had other plans. Daniel and Lily's mother separated when Lily was barely 2. A messy divorce, anger, pride, and then silence. Her mother moved to another state, changed her number, and just disappeared. For years, Daniel tried. Letters, calls, even private investigators. Nothing. Eventually, he stopped trying. Not because he stopped loving her, but because every unanswered attempt hurt more than the last. 20 years later, Daniel was now 52. He worked as a mechanic in a small town in Oregon. Every night, he came home to an empty house, ate dinner alone, and stared at a single photograph, him holding baby Lily in his arms. Then one afternoon, a letter arrived. It was old-fashioned, handwritten. The return address said L. Parker, Seattle. His hands trembled as he opened it. Dear Dad, I don't know if you'll even read this. Mom told me things I'm not sure I believe anymore. But if you are still the man in that picture she kept hidden, I want to meet you. Lily. Daniel just sat there, silent. Tears fell on the paper. For the first time in 20 years, hope returned. 3 days later, Daniel stood at a small cafe in downtown Seattle. His heart pounded harder than any engine he'd ever worked on. Then he saw her, a young woman in her 20s, brown hair like her mother's, but the eyes, those were his. Lily looked nervous too, clutching her coffee cup like it was a shield. Lily? Daniel whispered. She nodded, and in that moment, 20 years of silence shattered. They sat together, awkward at first, small talk, questions, but slowly stories began to flow about her childhood, his regrets, her dreams, his sleepless nights. Then Lily pulled something out of her bag, an old photograph. It was that picture, Daniel holding her as a baby. Mom kept this, she said quietly. She said you loved me, but you weren't ready to be a dad. Daniel's voice cracked. I was ready, sweetheart. I didn't know how to fight hard enough. Tears filled both their eyes. Finally, Lily reached across the table and took his hand. I think 20 years is long enough, she said softly. Daniel smiled through tears. Yeah. It's time we start making new memories. They hugged, a long, trembling hug, the kind that makes time stop. Outside, the city moved on. Cars honked, people rushed by, but for Daniel and Lily, the world stood still. For the first time in 20 years, a father had his daughter back, and this time, he wasn't letting go.